Welcome back, everybody, to A&M Reviews. It's Muhammad and Adrian, and today we're going to review the film Transformers 1. And this film stars Chris Hemsworth as Orion Pax, Brian Tyree Henry as D16, Scarlett Johansson as Elita, Keegan Michael Key as B127, Steve Buscemi as Starscream, Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion, and John Hamm as Sentinel Prime. But this film is about once upon a time, Optimus Prime and Megatron were friends, bonded like brothers, who managed to change the fate of the Cybertron planet forever. This is their untold original story before they end up being bitter opponents. So, what did you get from the film Transformers 1?
So Transformers One, at first, I thought it was gonna be a movie I wouldn't like. It felt like it was really kid, like that race they did in the beginning. I was like, it was really Sonic. Was it I was like it's like Subway before Subway Surfers was a thing, and Sonic had the boards, but um in the video game. But then it got serious, and it started the origin story, and went into some lore that I knew but didn't ever see depicted in this way. I mean, the cartoon was so old. I haven't seen that in years. So um, maybe it was depicted in the cartoon, but um, yeah, I liked it way more than I thought towards the end. Um, and we'll get into it when we get to the story, but the ending, it was really a mirror story or allegory or comparison to the fall of Lucifer from heaven with Megatron. I don't know if you caught that, but I mean,
I
essentially,
didn't.
you have the there is the chosen one, who is the rightful leader. There is the one who is jealous, and then he is cast out with a third of all of the angels or transformers to then become demons or the Decepticons in this. You have the chosen one, Optimus Prime, who again we'll get into it, but he is essentially sacrificed. He's resurrected. Um, he is the leader. He's the one. He's the only prime. I mean, it's it. The last 15 minutes were like the story of creation, which I'm like, was Transformers always, was this always the origin? Because that's crazy.
I don't know. I doubt it. I think
I
there's
don't know,
definitely
but
like
it makes it
um, some. it,
retconning.
it definitely made sense. You said what?
Yes, it made sense. I think there may be some major retconning to make that the story, but I mean that was great. I don't know if it was great writing if they just kind of copied the Bible, but either way, it was something that I did not expect to see and was very surprised by.
Yeah, I mean, you really felt for these characters. Like they had a lot of tension in this. They had a lot of drama, really funny moments that was at the right time. Um, but I didn't expect to like this as much as I did. And this is a really good movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, it just might be the best Transformers movie when you think about it.
Mm.
It just might be
Mm-mm.
the best.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It's
Mm-mm.
not. What do you mean?
No, no, no. This is not
it's
gonna
it's well
ruin
written, has great
2006 for
action
me.
and comedy. The first one. Well, I mean, the first one had a lot of stars, but when you just put in the whole story, like it all makes
Iris,
sense.
Iris, Bernie Mac, Shia LaBeouf. Come on,
Anthony Anderson.
Bumblebee.
Yeah, I mean that was
The
definitely good.
voice.
It's but when you consider ratings wise, this one is probably the best one because that one was not
I feel
rated
like
well.
this is
Go back and look.
no. but I feel like this cartoon kind of took the anime approach to it, which was good. And animes are almost always rated better than regular television because they're so good at storytelling. But the nostalgia, not my Transformers,
That gets you.
not my
What? Oh, come
Transformers.
on. What? This kind of is your Transformers, but without the people on screen. Like you actually still have stars voicing these characters. I mean, you got
Megan
Chris
Fox.
Hemsworth as the new
I mean, I can't
um,
remember what she said in the movie, but she was in it.
Megan
Oh,
Fox.
wasn't that her?
What was she? Is
She
who?
was the
You mean
love
it's Scarlett
interest.
Johansson? That's Scarlett
No, no, no.
Johansson.
I mean the original, the original Transformers.
Oh,
Here,
oh, yeah.
yes,
That
we
is
do
right.
have
Yeah,
Scarlett Johansson. It was a very important part. I forgot about that character, honestly.
yeah. Um, but I mean, yeah, the original had that, but that character's kind of interchangeable. They changed her up. Actually, I guess the main character too, Shia LaBeouf, later on. But still,
Yeah, he went a little crazy, but no, I mean it was good. Um, the only thing that's not explained because you can't explain everything away is how they decided what vehicles to transform into. Because there are no Cybertrucks on uh, Cybertron. No semi. There's no semi trucks on Cybertron. Um, so everyone else kind of had a generic motor thing, but he was still very much his semi truck self, Optimus.
well, he's a prime, so he gets a little special treatment. Or
But
he
like
was the
they've
chosen
never
one.
seen these
He
things. These are human devices they're transforming into. They can't. I mean, it's
well,
Saturday morning cartoon. They can't make everything make sense.
yeah, you're going by the movies that we first saw, where they just copied wherever they saw. That's what you're
True.
going by. This is like uh, a reboot.
Yes, it is.
That's what
It
this
is a
is.
reboot for reboots. I mean, even the name Transformers One, I was like, okay, they're trying to do something here. And this is not a kids movie, even though it looks like it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they go hard in this. I mean,
Yeah,
Megatron, he's pretty
I'm like,
ruthless
kill him.
for
Oh, well,
D16.
yes.
I thought some of his change was a little drastic, but I guess it made sense. Like
Oh,
he
quick,
he was very
quick.
serious. He he was very serious throughout, but I mean he was kind of jokey, but he turned very quickly. Like
Mhm.
once he found out the truth about things,
At first, I
he's
thought
like,
he
"Nah, I
was
ain't having none
Jazz.
of
At
this."
first, I got that confused.
Jazz,
Thought it was Jazz. He was
Jazz doesn't
Silver,
get shine
but
like
Jazz
that.
was in
Come
it, but
on,
he was somebody else. He,
yeah, he's a little
he was,
pipsqueak.
yeah, a little cocky,
He didn't even show that. I mean,
a
he
little
was
hot
just a
head.
guy. In
I
this,
know.
he was
In
like
this one,
a just another one of the guys. That's all he was. I mean, you couldn't tell who he was besides them saying his name. Um,
no.
but yeah, D16 Megatron. I mean, he turned pretty quickly when it came to how he acted, especially towards the end. But I still liked it.
Yeah.
Um, it was definitely believable. The climax of this is really great, really good, um, really good storytelling and funny. I mean, I always wanted to kind of hear what Bumblebee would be like because in almost every iteration, he has no voice and it's the radio.
Right.
I'm kind of tired of that. But then we get this, and he doesn't stop talking.
Badass a drug. Right. And it makes sense. It fits.
Yeah. Um, and he didn't lose his voice in this. Um,
I was waiting for it.
I mean, I mean, we can still. I'm pretty sure they're gonna make another one because I think a lot of people like this.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not sure how much money it made, but I, I'm I hope that they keep his voice around. It's actually
Right. I'm
Keegan
sure they will.
Michael Key.
Yep. You
Yeah,
get my
he's
Steve
playing
was the
him.
voice. I recognize that instantly.
Yeah. um, I think everybody did a really good job of voice acting. You know, Brian Tyree Henry is playing as Megatron D16. Um,
Right.
I didn't realize Lawrence Fishburne was Alpha Trion.
I caught about halfway through that was his voice.
Yeah, I definitely knew Chris Hemsworth was um, Optimus Prime.
He
You can
actually took me
definitely
a little bit
tell.
longer.
What? I mean, you could just tell in his voice. I mean, he sounds maybe just a little bit like the Optimus Prime that we're used to, but once you really just listen just a little bit, you're like, okay, yeah, that's definitely him. Like he didn't change his voice or anything.
Right.
That's him.
No. Whenever he was being younger and a bit more immature, I could tell. I couldn't tell, rather, because I'm so used to hearing him talk in a serious voice.
Yeah, and I mean, this is Optimus Prime, or really, it's Orion Pax before he becomes Optimus Prime, who he's he likes to step across the line. Like he doesn't really follow the rules much. He, I guess, always does it for a good reason, but he
Hmm.
always steps over the line. He doesn't really follow the rules. He's not really a bad guy, but he gets into some trouble, and he drags D16 along with him, and they're best friends.
Just immature.
Um, yeah, immature. Highly optimistic about everything. Think that he's doing everything for the right reason. Um, so
Right.
he has the right heart, but that gets him into trouble at times. But overall, I thought that this was a really good film. Um, I haven't seen a lot of animated films this year, but I think this one should be up for an award. Um,
Really?
but yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean, what other
What
ones have come
studio
out?
is this
I'm trying to
from?
think of. I
I
think
got
probably
Inside Out
Paramount.
2 this year. No, no. What am I
Oh
talking
yeah,
about?
that is right.
Not Inside Out.
No, that's
Was
right.
that this year?
Inside Out 2. That's right. Yeah, that was
Gosh,
this
this has
year.
been a long
It's not that
year.
long ago. It wasn't that long
Gosh.
ago when it came out.
I guess not. I saw it in the theater.
Oh,
Feels like forever ago.
Mo- Moana 2. I haven't seen it yet, but that might be good. I'm
Oh,
not
right. I
sure.
haven't seen that yet either.
Uh, um. So yeah, it's got some competition, most definitely, but I think it should be up there. Um, I guess I don't know if Sonic would count. Haven't seen that yet either, but
I think
not
that's
exactly
a regular
animated.
movie. Right.
Mufasa, maybe. I don't know. Who knows what that counts as?
Oh, no.
Live action with animated, realistic animals. I don't know.
It's in a CGI category.
uh, that's gonna be a new category in the awards. Live action CGI.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah. Um, but let's go ahead and get into the story. So, at the beginning, we have Orion Pax and D16. They are the best of buds, and they're at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to their society. They're all miners, like they work in coal mines to um, get all of the resources for their planet, which is Cybertron, and the resources are actually very few. They All the energon has dried up, and they're trying to find the matrix of leadership so they can get all the energon to come back. And at the head of this is Sentinel Prime. He's the leader of Cybertron. After all the other primes were destroyed in this war that they had, I forgot the name of the war that they called it, but um, yeah, Sentinel Prime is at the head of this, and Orion Pax and D16, they get into some trouble, mostly because of Orion Pax, just kind of pushing the line, always being adventurous, wanting to see what is really out there. And he also wants to kind of figure out how he can find the matrix of leadership so their planet can be saved and everybody can have all the resources that they can get. But D16 always wants to follow the rules. He never wants to kind of get out of line, but Orion always kind of pushes him there. Um,
Right.
so there is this really big race that they have. Think of it like like a NASCAR race, but with the Transformers, and they call it the Icon 5000. This really big race, and Orion Pax, he wants to be involved in it some way, but for their kind as miners, they don't have cogs, the cogs to transform into these like cars or any type of transportation vehicle. They don't have that ability. And it was told to them, you were born without it, and only a certain few have these. And those certain few race in the Icon 5000. But Orion Pax has this huge idea. Hey, just follow me, D16. We're going to get a great view of this race. So they kind of go to almost like above where the start line is, and the race starts, and they fall straight down into where everybody's racing. And they're on like this big adventure to try to get into first place. Um, Now, I'm really not sure if this was part of his plan. I'm talking about Orion Pax to get the Matrix of Leadership or find it, but
I
this just
think
seemed like
he
one of those times that he was just trying to have fun.
right. I think so. Just messing with them.
Yeah, um, they do end up getting very close to being in first, but not quite, because D16 he kind of goes down, and Orion he's trying to carry him to the finish line, but they get pushed out the way. And then right after that, literally every single other car passes them, and I think they end up in last or something. Um, but it was a really good, fun, wild ride. Really good action. I think that this movie is animated very well, like all the shading, the lighting,
It that was
um,
the only
the way
thing
that they
I was
move.
like a a real movie, quote unquote real, but the Transformers that I knew, um, with Sam Witwicky, they couldn't do this, you know, because even in the
What?
rebooted live action Transformers, um, you have fight
One from last
scenes
year.
and all kinds of stuff, but yeah, last year's, um, but it was like washed out in the dark explosions. Honestly, the transformations look worse than they did in 2006 or whatever. Um, so it was nice to see a full budget animation and seeing what they could do with these Transformer fights. It was something. It was really good.
Yeah, and not to make either myself or you feel old, but that original one is almost 20 years old.
Ooh, Lord,
And
it's me recall
it came out 2007, actually.
2007. Okay, man, how old
Yeah,
is Shia
but
LaBeouf?
still, almost almost 20 years old. Wow,
Tyrese looks the same.
time flies. Looks the same.
Mm,
I would say
Anthony
exactly
Anderson
the
was in
same. I
there.
mean, oh yeah, I remember his part. Like the way he was like, whenever the FBI came, and he's like, "Who hasn't stole
Yes,
music? Who
Ma.
hasn't?"
Oh,
And he did that little
yes.
scream like he always does, tripping over himself. It's hilarious.
Right.
Reminds me of him and Kangaroo Jack.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been a classic
Yes.
to me. Kangaroo Jack. Um,
Yeah.
oh, that one
You bring that
actually
back.
is
Reboot
over
that.
20 years old.
Where did that come out?
2003.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not coming back. I mean, this is rated awfully. I mean, it's not a 9%.
What you mean? Put the money. You put the money in the jacket and the jacket of the cake for the cakes. Hop, hop, hop away.
And he's not hopping away. Th- yeah, this is not coming back. It's rated a 9%. I mean
Wow.
that's a classic for us, but everybody else growing up during that time probably not.
Hmm.
um, I mean, I
We
still
gotta
liked
review
it.
some old movies that we like that are poorly rated now.
Yeah, well, maybe start with that one, Kangaroo Jack.
Kangaroo Jack.
Baby geniuses.
Baby Genius kind of scared me a little bit.
Why is that?
Didn't they fight the big animatronic baby? Or was that a different movie?
Honestly, I can't really remember. I really can't remember. I just remember it being ridiculous.
Mm.
Um, I can't remember anything about those movies except some babies talking. You know, like they put like an animated mouth over their face or something, and they're doing like flips.
Yeah,
But
some ridiculousness.
yeah, that would be funny. But as far as this movie, Transformers One, Orion Pax, you know, he gets them in trouble a lot, and D16 is furious with him because he didn't think that it was worth it, and he thinks that they're going to get demoted, even though they're already pretty low on the totem pole. Um, but they get to meet Sentinel Prime, and he says, hey, good job out there. Now that you guys, you miners, showed out there, our production in the mine has gone up over 150%. And now, we thank you for that. And, I want to show you around. So, you know, good to meet you. Got to go right now. But hey, they're going to show you around. Um, but what
Right.
happens is one of the um, Transformers, I forgot his name, but he pretty much just whips them most times, telling them, hey, get out of here or whatever it is. But he takes both of them, puts them down like 5 sub levels, and say, hey, you're never going to see the day of light again, and leaves them there. And this is where they meet B127, Bumblebee. And I don't think we get a story of why he's down there, but he's the
He's
only
just
one down
weird.
there. But I mean, did he do something to get down there?
They don't explain that.
I, he had to.
They don't
I
explain
mean,
that.
I don't think
Did you see the
I don't
cut
think
scenes at the
somebody.
end?
I can't remember.
There were two of them. One of them is him just talking to people who were down there with him the whole time, and the people are not alive. They're like shells of robot. So he's a little special.
Oh, oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I do remember seeing that. Um, but yeah, they showed that actually in the like when we first met him. He had one that was
Yes,
called
right.
Steve, and then some other ones with a letter and numbers. Um, but when he's there by himself, I mean, there's nobody else to talk to, so he made his own friends. And he
Yeah.
just cannot stop talking. He just cannot stop. Because he's so excited to have somebody real in front of him. Um, and they're like, we got to get out of here. And Orion Pax,
Maybe it's a
he's
play
still.
on. Maybe it's a play on B having so many voices at the radio that he has. He makes up these voices of different people There's no one to talk to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, I'm just hoping that they don't take his voice away, so soon. But he was pretty entertaining in
Oh, they
this,
will.
and uh,
They will.
he, yeah, he was really entertaining. But in one of his friends that he made up, one of his robot friends, there's this signal being launched from this little device, and it's one of the primes sending out a message saying, this is where I'm located, you know, pretty much like a help signal. And this Alpha Trion, and it has a map on it. And this gives Orion Pax just what he needs, just another way to kind of get closer to um, the what you call it, the matrix of leadership. And
Right.
D16, he's like, I'm over this, like, stop it. Um, but they have to go along with it because they're pretty much at the bottom anyway. And they start going up all the sub levels. They run into Alita, being played by Scarlett Johansson. She's pretty
Hmm.
serious in this. Really no nonsense. Uh, really just follows the rules every time. But she gets dragged along in this because as they're going up through all the sub levels, she's trying to stop them, and then she gets stuck with them.
Right.
And really, up to this point, the movie is actually going pretty quickly. I mean, it's not a very long movie, but it takes you on a ride the whole time.
It does, and it's again, it's where I realized more and more as the story went on that it's actually more geared towards maybe our age group.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Megatron. The development into Megatron, how he starts to talk once he finds out the truth about everything.
Yes.
Um, because Sentinel Prime, he's looked at as this great guy who's trying to do his best to get the Energon back onto Cybertron and save everybody. But whenever they get to meet up with Alpha Trion, who's been offline this whole time, um, he tells them the truth. He says that Sentinel Prime was actually the one who betrayed all the other primes. He was actually only an aide to the primes who betrayed them,
Hmm.
set them up to get ambushed, and they were taken out by those other creatures that they've been kind of at war at. And he was only using them so he can get more power and also get the matrix of leadership. But it doesn't work like that. You have to be chosen. You can't just take it just because you want it. So it just disappears into nothingness. And he's been looking for it ever since.
Right.
Um, and I also wonder, how was Alpha Trion able to kind of just hide? Because they're in the same place where all the other primes were. Because he was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Did he just play dead?
Right. I'm not sure how he did that either. He just breathed really slowly or something. I'm not really sure what that meant.
And they also fed him something. I guess it's like Energon. I don't know. They put something in his mouth to make him wake up. A little cube.
Yeah, I think it was Energon. I think about they must have simplified it for the movies that we watched growing up with the Spark, the All Spark. It was kind of the same deal.
Yeah, they all spark. Um, uh, but yeah, he kind of gives them a visual, a very good visual of what Sentinel Prime did and what he's trying to do now, where he's still working under the whatever those things are called. I'm gonna just call them aliens. Um, the ones who were invading
I forget their
Cybertron.
name. It was
He's
complicated.
Yeah, and he's giving them Energon, and really, it's not like a partnership. It's more like do what I say, or I'm gonna kill everybody here.
Right.
And Sentinel Prime, he's scared for his life, so he's like, hey, work those miners even harder until they can't, work anymore because we need to get them their Energon, so I can, I guess, find the Matrix of Leadership. I don't know what his plan was. He's just kind of like, I'm just waiting for it to show up. Um, but you know, they get found out because D16 is just so furious. He's like, I want to go confront him, and they're overheard by the spider-like um, transformer.
Yeah,
What's her
Arachnid.
name? Yeah, Arachnid. Well, yeah. She has a whole bunch of
Yeah, they
eyes
hit
and
the nail on the
legs
head
and
there.
yeah. Um, and she saw them from afar, so they start chasing them. And oh, also, Alpha Trion tells them, "Hey, you all had cogs whenever you were first born. Um, Sentinel
Yeah, how do
Prime
you
just took them
accomplish
out."
stealing all that stuff? That didn't quite make any sense to me.
Well, I just wonder how they're made. Like, is it like making a car? Like you just put them together,
I imagined that
or
you remember Robot, um, or Robots with
the
it was a
movie?
blue robot that the movie. Um,
Yeah.
the blue robot was the main character, and the yellow one's Goofy, and all those. I imagine it was like that, where you just order parts,
So they
build a
just never put
child.
his part in, or their parts. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna add the cog in there.
And like, is there an assembly line? Is he birthing all the Transformers? How is he getting by like this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they come from. Like maybe each month or something. Like they just come out of the Earth or Cybertron, and they
Right.
come in like a box or something. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take this cog out.
Right.
But also in this D16, his hero is Megatronus Prime. Um, and he has this symbol that we are really accustomed to. The Megatron, the Optimus, or not the Optimus, the
Hmm.
what do they call them? Not Autobots, but what does Megatron
The
call his crew?
Primes.
The
Oh, Decepticons.
no, 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 not the Primes. Oh
Decepticons.
yeah, Decepticons. Yes, yeah, yeah. Pretty much has that symbol that we're used to, but um, that's who Megatronus is. He has that symbol, and he actually puts a sticker on his body because he's just so infatuated with
Hmm.
Megatronus, and he he realizes that Sentinel Prime, he killed him. He's like, that traitor, and this is where his turn really starts to begin. I mean, there
That
might
was
have
his
been like
hero.
little hints here or there, but this is like he just, yeah, that was his hero, and he's like, I'm just furious. I just want to kill him right now. Like, hand me his head. I mean, he turned very
Yeah.
quick. Um, but Alpha Trion, he gives them the cogs from the primes who had already passed, so they're now able to transform. B, Orion Pax, D16, and Alita, and now they're able to transform. And while they're on the run, you know, those the Transformers who are after them, they try to get them, and they start getting all these surprises. Like they're able to transform into these vehicles. Um, B gets laser hands, and he's just enjoying it.
Right.
He's loving it. Um, you know, and they also don't fully transform. Like they're not able to part of their
Hmm.
leg is not fully into like a car, and they're almost falling apart in some ways. Um, And I just wonder how
All right, but they figured it
D16,
out
like
pretty
he seemed like
quickly.
he was the only one that got like a gun. Yeah.
Yeah.
The D16 was the only one who got like a gun, like a really big gun. I I don't know if that came
And I don't know if
from
it's just like your inner
Megatron as
thoughts or
Prime or
something. Oh, maybe.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Um but yeah, they get away and they're able to actually meet up with what becomes Megatron's future underlings. That's like Soundwave, Starscream,
Mm-hmm.
um, and
Heatwave?
Starscream. You know, he
Yeah.
fits right back in. You know, yeah, Heatwave maybe, um, but Starscream. You know, looking weak again. Like he almost always looks weak. Like he's he's always his second in command, but like he always just gets beat up. And he's supposed to be the leader in this resistance,
Right. But
but
also
D
having
six.
it be Steve Buscemi, I knew he wasn't going to be tough. Like that voice is never a tough character.
Yeah, he actually was crushing his windpipe, making him pretty much scream.
Right.
um, but they get ambushed, and you know they get split up. They take D16 and B, and take them to Sentinel Prime, where he's like, you know, even though y'all found the truth, I'm gonna tell them that you all were traitors, and I'm gonna kill you just because of it. But D16, you know, standing up for what he believes in, he's like, no, I'm not having it. And, you know, he tries to start to fight him, but, you know, his hands are tied, so really can't do much. But at the same time, Orion Pax is trying to gather everybody, even all the miners from the group that he knew to, you know, rise up so they can fight back against them. And also, Sentinel Prime was very, very disrespectful to D16 because after he kind of whipped him around a little bit with his hands were tied, he's like, now I'm going to make the symbol permanent. And you think, you know, it'll be nice, or maybe not nice, but, you know, you think that really, I was thinking that he was almost like plastering the sticker on there so it wouldn't go away, like you couldn't remove it. But he made it so sloppy, the the Decepticon symbol. Like it was so disrespectful.
Yeah. They mutilated him. Uh, very disrespectful. Very sloppy. But it became it's the mark of the beast.
Yeah, the mark of the beast. That's one way to put it. um,
Look at that. I'm telling you, the symbolism
but
through here is crazy.
yeah, I don't know. Did he must have like changed it or like fixed it or something because I don't think it was there
He
towards the
did.
end.
He fixed it.
Um,
He
yeah.
I forget when it happened. It might not have been until the cutscene because it was like removed. I think whenever he kind of like leveled up, but then at the
Hmm.
very in the cutscene talking when he was taking things over, it they showed it correctly.
Yeah. Um, but once D16 is freed, you know, he's not holding back. He's now trying to kill Sentinel Prime. And Sentinel Prime, I mean, he fights him a little bit, but he's like, yeah, this dude's too much. Like, stop, please. Don't kill me. And the only person that is standing between them is Orion Pax. He's like, you know what? This is not the way. We don't want to start the
Yeah.
rebuild of Cybertron with an execution. So, I mean, D16, he starts fighting Orion Pax a little bit, pushes him out the way. Then all of a sudden, right before he's about to kill Sentinel Prime, Orion Pax jumps in front of him while he's about to shoot him, and he ends up shooting Orion Pax. And Orion Pax. And we also have kind of like a Lion King moment too, when you think about it. But
Yes.
uh, Orion Pax, he's about to fall into, the huge pit of nothingness of Cybertron. And D16 holds his hand like, oh, why'd you have to get in the way? He said, we could have did this together. Then all of a sudden, he just turns all the way evil. Like his eyes get red, and he's like, you know what? I forgot his exact words, but he's like, pretty much, now that you're not in the way, I can do what I want.
Yep.
So he lets him go and lets him just fly down into the ends of the Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that long live the king type of moment.
Yes. Yeah, good writing.
But after that,
Even, or good copying.
good copying. Well, I'll give them credit for this. Like, it had very good tension. The way that they set it up, like everything, the way the flow that it was going, like it really made you feel like
Mm-hmm.
you were immersed into the movie. Um,
Yeah.
and it made you feel for Orion Pax and D16 in some ways because, he felt like he was betrayed this whole time, but now he's full of rage and can't see anything but red. And then he ends up
Mm-hmm.
just ripping Sentinel Prime into two pieces, kind of foreshadowing what he does to Jazz.
Mm.
But
I knew it.
yeah, and now everybody's kind of following behind him, except Alita and NB. They're like, you know what, this is not the way to do it. But as they're all rising up, Orion Pax, he keeps falling into the center of Cybertron, and now the ultimate leader, I think is Primus, right? The name of the original
Yes.
Prime. Yeah, with all the primes together, they see that Orion Pax is the chosen one. He is worthy of the Matrix of Leadership, so they grant him the power and pretty much save his life. And now, I mean, he can pretty much do anything. Because I don't think in the live action Transformers
Yeah.
films, I don't think his weapon arm was able to kind of pretty much turn into any type of weapon like in this.
No. Um, they kind of got around him not having his trailer yet by giving him some power ups, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, he wipes the floor with pretty much everybody. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, B16, now Megatron, he did get some little licks in, but he got embarrassed. Kind of sent him home. But he wiped the floor with them. He's like, yeah, you know what? This could have been us, but you playing.
Yeah.
But now you got to
And it's
walk.
another
You
example of
got to
how it's I'm gonna start calling this the Joker syndrome because as Batman could take out the
one bad
Joker,
day.
Optimus could have took out Megatron before he was Megatron.
Yeah, but that's part of being a
But
hero, though. You're not supposed to kill him.
no, not the American way.
No. Now I guess he could have put him in prison if they have that type of thing. I don't know. But he
Yeah,
probably
that's
would have
what they
fought
do. You
his way
literally
out.
just
I don't
let
know.
him go. Literally. Like the baddest
With his
man in the
whole army.
universe. Right. And you gave him an arm. You could take him with you. You told him.
Yeah, get out of here. Y'all can go to the other
Yeah.
side of
Or
the
what
planet,
power does he
but not
actually
here.
have? Take it somewhere else.
Yeah. And I guess they still have that issue of those aliens that they got to deal with. Um, so I don't know. But now everybody is fallen under Optimus Prime. And he's also able to give everybody their cogs back, the ones who never had one. And now they're able to transform. Also, do you miss the sound of them transforming from the other Transformers films, the live
Yes,
action ones?
absolutely. I was playing it in my head every time. Pop open! That's all I heard the entire time.
Wait,
Run with Wiki. Take the Allspark.
the all Spock. Well, Michael Bay, his name is still on this movie. I think he was a producer.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah, I saw some of the credits. I think it's towards the beginning of the credits because they made him look fancy. Um,
Okay.
but I think he's a producer on this film.
Yeah. Nice.
So they might be onto something. I'm gonna check to see how much they made with this. Oof, it's kind of rough.
No.
$129 million. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess people were kind of tired of the franchise. Maybe that's why I didn't make that much.
Well, tired of the franchise,
I
and
mean,
also it's kind of niche because it wasn't a kids movie, but it was a cartoon. It was an anime. It was an anime. That audience is small
yeah, but those other ones made so much more money. Like the first three
because you
or four.
had Bernie Mac, you had Anthony Anderson,
He was only in the first one.
Megan
They were
Fox,
only in the first one.
Shia LaBeouf, but that carried on.
Well, I guess it's ran out.
And I feel like that it's an easier movie to go and see. I think cartoons to get the adult audience, it's unless it's the adult audience watching it because they have kids, it's not gonna have a strong pull as a quote unquote live action, even though it's just a computer game with people running around on a green screen.
I
Something
mean,
about it
I
that doesn't do
think
the
people
numbers.
just didn't know. Yeah, I think people just didn't know what to expect from this. I'm not sure how much promotion
Yeah.
this movie received, so that could have played a part in
Right.
this. Um, but I think once more of the word gets out about this, I think more people will maybe watch it with, I don't know, whatever they watch this on. I don't know, Prime Video, something
Hmm.
like that. Um, because this is actually a really good movie. I would say it's probably their
Yes.
best rated movie.
Wow. It's
Actually, I
definitely the
think it
best
is the
story.
best rated movie that they
It's the
have.
best storytelling. Wow.
Yeah, and it's a shame
Definitely the
that
best
they didn't make
storytelling.
more money.
Mhm.
They made so many bad ones. I mean, even last year it didn't. I mean, it made more money than this, but
Yeah.
last year, the one from last year didn't make a whole bunch of money.
All
They've
right.
stained the franchise. um, but let's go ahead and give this one a rating. So the lowest rating is trash, middle is background noise, and the highest is a banger. So how'd you rate the film Transformers One?
Even though it's not hashtag my Transformers, it's a great movie. I think this is a banger. I was surprised. I was brought in every scene more than the last, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a banger. I'm gonna give it a mid level banger. It pretty much does everything right.
Okay.
Has a lot of tension, has a lot of good funny moments, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. You kind of jump
No.
on this ride, and it's like straight go right after that. And I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. It was a good one. It's a good one. It's colorful. It's animated well. It's great voice actors. You recognize all of them. And it's a fun watch. And you learn something. So I don't know how they're gonna go on with the franchise, if they're gonna go on with the franchise, but I'm happy to see what they bring.
Yeah, me too. And this movie actually didn't cost as much as you would think. I think it cost around like maybe 50 to $75 million, which is very low these days. When you see all these other movies spend like $200 million. So, I mean, they didn't really make their money back, but maybe good ratings will make another one. I don't know. Um, I mean, Transformers. I
Hopefully.
don't think as a franchise won't go away. I mean, they have so many other things, cartoons, toys, all that stuff. But maybe they have to figure out some promotional things. I don't know. But this is definitely a really good movie.
Yes, definitely really good. Highly recommend. Highly, highly recommend. Anyone who has ever been interested in anything remotely about Transformers should give this a watch.
Most definitely. But any other thoughts about this film?
Um, they definitely set up for more. I mean, with the cutscenes, the comedy, I was surprised by. I never thought Transformers was this funny.
Yeah. Um, it definitely all fit. Like it didn't overstay its welcome. Like
Right?
the
Yeah,
next movie that we're going to
it
talk
did well
about.
that way. Oh no.
Uh, we'll get to it. We get to it.
Oh.
But I think that does it for us at AIM Reviews. Thank you everybody for listening. Make sure to check out our other platforms, including YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, which are all linked in the description. And if you want to send us a message, click the message link to get featured on the show. And thanks for listening.